you very much for your good introduction to me. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Atsushi Inaba from Japan. And today I would like to talk about the carbon footprint activities in Japan. Especially, I would like to focus on the PCR approach. Today's topic is I would like to talk about a little bit a background of the carbon footprint of the product in Japan and activities in 2008. That means, last year in this conference, I introduced already the activities in 2008. And after that, life cycle assessment and carbon footprint, that is just, a short introduction. What is the life cycle assessment? You know already. And third one is activities on carbon footprint in 2009. That is the main topics in my presentation. And then I would like to introduce a little bit ISO standard and comparison of the other standards and consumer acceptance. So here is the background of our field of the carbon footprint. So maybe this is Tesco declaration. I mean, Tesco said we are going to the carbon footprint in the December 2006, and then Japan is here. 2008 June. That is the start point of the Japanese carbon footprint, and then within 2 years, or only the 2 years, we did so many things in the field of the carbon footprint. This is what is the carbon footprint, already, but I would like to show this one because, in the life cycle, we have to calculate the CO2. And then, this slide, I always use this slide to show, to explain what is the carbon footprint to the people in Japan, okay? And here is the start point of the Japanese carbon footprint. That is 2008. 2008 in July, that is Prime Minister Fukuda said, we need a visualization of the CO2 in order to reduce the CO2, in Japan. This is a visualization. So carbon footprint is a tool, one of the tools of the visualization of the CO2. That is a Japanese policy. And here, under the Prime Minister declaration, METI operated two committees. One committee is, METI invited these 30 big companies, and then in this committee, these 30 companies calculated carbon footprint, and then here is the second committee. That is a committee to establish the rule of the carbon footprint. So chairman of these two committees is me, so I have a chance to explain, to you what is the activity of carbon footprint in Japan. But anyway, here is 2008. And in December, we have the big conference, big exhibition. That is, we call that one is as the eco product, 2008. At that time, 30 companies showed their carbon footprint products. Okay? And here is a picture of the 2008, eco product 2008, and Prime Minister Fukuda-san already resumed his post. However, he came to the exhibition, and then he looked at the, his result. What is this? This is a carbon footprint. Okay. But anyway, again, this is what is a carbon footprint, and carbon footprint is based on the life cycle assessment. So I would like to give you some information because this is, as I mentioned before, this is a slide I always use to explain what is a life cycle assessment. This is a refrigerator, and here is a cradle. This is a grave. And this is, maybe everything, but inventory phase and impact assessment is very much important. And life cycle assessment of the ISO standard is, goal-oriented tools. That is very much important. Here we call this one is a foreground data and this one is a background data. But nowadays, everyone said this one is a primary data and here is a secondary data because of the past 2050. So here is a mandatory element is a characterization result, and this is an optional element to integrate every environmental impact into just one single indicator. But nowadays, this is carbon footprint here. Carbon footprint is the total. This is a global warming potential, and this is the inventory, and we can get a category indicator. So ISO standard, in the ISO standard, we call this one is a category indicator. However, today, we must call this one is a carbon footprint. So problem is, what kind of the global warming potential we must use. That is, global warming potential comes from the IPCC report, but only one country, that is Japan, to use the ISO IPCC report, second IPCC report, because of Kyoto Protocol. Japan want to use the IPCC second report because of the Kyoto Protocol. We must use that one. But in the ISO standard, discussion, so many countries want to use the fourth, IPCC report. That is number is a little bit difference. Okay. But anyway, so whenever I said we shall carry out the carbon footprint in Japan. However, many industries said there are so many difficulties. But exactly, we have the two rules. One is the cutoff rule, and second one is the data collection rule. That means, here you can understand what is the cutoff rule. Maybe here is, for example, calculates carbon footprint up to product 95% mass or CO2 proportion, selecting unit processed by its significance and divide it 0.95 to make it 100%. That means, in Japanese rule, we have to calculate the 95% on CO2 proportion. That means, we have to estimate the CO2 emission, in the life cycle before, what did you say? Before we apply the PCRs and the carbon footprint. We estimation of the carbon footprint is very much important in our rule. And here is the data collection. Data collection means, we much focus on the site-specific data, but we use the background data as a secondary data. That is, that rule makes us easier operation of the carbon footprint. And I would like to introduce the allocation. Maybe that this one is, however, sometimes everyone forget this one because, here is the wheat and this is electricity. We use electricity to make a flour and brine, okay? And then if this CO2, shall allocate into flour and brine. However, if we use a mass basis, that is, for 1 kilogram CO2 of the flour and 1 kilogram CO2 of brine is the same. So that means, allocation rule is much important. So we would like to focus on the allocation rule for each PCRs. I mean, here is, what is a PCR? Environment and greenhouse gas performance are different between each product category. And this shall be considered in the calculation rules. That means, PCR makes the carbon footprint data comparable. I mean, we cannot compare the product if that PCR is different. Okay? That is our rule. Why we need a PCR? For external use of the life cycle assessment or carbon footprint study result, the scope and rule of the calculation shall be the same. I mean, as I mentioned before, if we would like to compare these two product category rule is a must, must same. And common and harmonized calculation rule shall be established for fair comparison. That means, PCR is a tool to support the comparison of the product. That is, PCR, definition of the PCR is presented in the Type 3, as a Type 3 level in the ISO standard 40025. So we would like to use the 40,025, as the rule of the Japanese carbon footprint. But I would like to say, someone said PCR is a calculation rule. However, in my opinion, in our opinion, PCR is not a calculation rule. PCR is a tool to support a comparison. That is a tool of the communication. So in Japan, in the ISO standard discussion, Japan always said, PCR must shoot in the part 2. That is a communication of the ISO standard carbon footprint. So that is not a calculation rule. That should not be in the part 1 of the ISO standard. But anyway, this is ISO standard 40,025, maybe you know already. And here is the Japanese system of the carbon footprint, okay? So as I mentioned before, in the 2008, we operated two, committees. One is the establishment of the rule, committee of the establishment of the rule. So in that committee, we established these two rules. This is the top rule of the carbon footprint in Japan. And we issued, we published TSQ 0010. That is a Japanese guideline of the carbon footprint. And then after that, under this top level of the rule of the Japanese carbon footprint, we have so many PCRs, for each product. That is the Japanese style of the carbon footprint. Here is, here is the outline of the basic guideline of the carbon footprint product. That is the top rule. But I would like to skip this one because, you can see here is allocation rule. That is, you can see the PCR, and cutoff criteria, you can see the PCR. Because, Japanese top guideline always said, allocation and cutoff rule or detail of the calculation must define in the PCRs of each product. Okay? And here is so many blah, blah, blah. But today I would like to focus on this one, per product in principle. I mean, in the Japanese system, we have to the carbon footprint, we have to put the carbon footprint number, exact number on the package. Okay? Here is a shell label of carbon footprint onto the body of the packaging materials of the production. So some people said, we don't need any exact figure on the package. That is, we need just a label of the marks or something. But however, in the Japanese system, we must put, in principle, we must put the exact number on the package. So here is a key element of the Japanese system. We take the PCF approach and program phases. That means, there is a program holder in Japan, and then, they control the PCRs. Okay? So that is the Japanese system. So here, I would like to introduce more the activities on the carbon footprint in 2009. So Japanese fiscal year starts from the April and end in March, next year. So in the April, we kick off the actual, pilot program national pilot project of the carbon footprint in 2009. What is the 2008? 2008 is a just trial, okay? And from the 2009, we started the official carbon footprint pilot project. And then, here is the, PCR, three-item PCR have been certified in September. Here is a system in 2009, Here is the two committees. One is a certification committee of the meeting of the PCR draft. And here is the verification, of the carbon footprint calculation result. So we have the, theoretically we shall have the two committees. One is, that is the certification of the PCR, and the other one is verification of the carbon footprint. But now currently, there is just one committee, and then we certify PCR, we verify the carbon footprint. A chairman of this committee is me, so I have to explain to you, what is Japanese carbon footprint. But anyway, is a list of the PCR development in the March. As of the today, 78 PCR is applied, and 42 PCR certified, and then 100 carbon footprint is verified. That is Japanese situation. Okay? But here in September, this is the first product of the carbon footprint in Japan. PCR already certified and carbon footprint already verified. And this product from the EON, they sold this product in the web market as a gift of the Christmas season. Okay. But this one is just a web market, website market. And after that, we established a Carbon Footprint Japan Forum. That means we would like to invite the consumers to this forum and explain what is a carbon footprint. This is a seminar of the carbon footprint. Here is me, and you can find so many. If you can correct the number, correctly, this is 600 people joined, in the conference, in the seminar of the carbon footprint. So many people are interested in the carbon footprint in Japan. And, here is, as I mentioned before, 42 PCR is already certified, and today, and the product of some of them was shown in the, again, Eco Product 2009. I would like to show the example of the carbon footprint product in Japan. It was shown in the Eco Product 2009. Okay? In the Eco Product 2009, 27 companies joined and showed the 62 products. Here is exhibition, and here is the scene of the household. Here is so many cookies or something, and oil, vegetable oil, or here is the scene of the business. This is a business wear and chair and what did you say? That is a pen or something. And here is a scene of the school. Here this is a school wear, school athletic wear, and then a chair and desk, and here is a cups of the, what do you say in English? I'm not sure, but in Japan, so many schools are provided the meal, lunch. So here, this is a cup of the, lunch in the school. So I would like to ask you, which one do you like? This is a chocolate, You can see 10, 15 grams of the chocolate, and here is 68 grams. But this is the same product from the Nestle. In the package, in one package, there are so small chocolate. For each piece, carbon footprint is 68. And totally, that is 10, 15. Which one do you like? So we showed this one to the in the eco product, 2009, and we asked to the people which one is like, which one do you like? Half and half. Result is half and half. So what shall we do? This is also Nestle, the coffee cup. Five coffee cup were what would you say? One package, inside of the one package has 5 coffee cup. 5 coffee cup is 530, and each one is 106. Which one do you like? So many people said this one. Okay? But anyway, we are right now discussing what kind of the level we shall do. And we always, some chance, we take some chance to organize a seminar to explain what is the life cycle assessment or what is the carbon footprint. And we verified already, 100 product. But and in the February, we started we start to sell the product in the market, actual market. So first is the Nippon Han, this is, okay? And this is maybe you can find our level, but the point is, this is the official mark. This is the weight, and you can see the carbon footprint, and then this is the additional information. Maybe you cannot understand the Japanese, but this one is materials and production. And this portion is transportation and retailers. And this portion is eating and waste. Okay? So this information is very much important, I think. But anyway, I would like to introduce some method of the carbon footprint. And I forget bring the table, but here is, Mark Goodcorp invited us, to compare the method in the internationally. So I checked, here is my name. I checked the TS0010, and Laura from the WRI checked the WRI, GHG protocol. Grand Sweden from Carbon Trust is checked the past 2008 2050, and Professor of the Matthias Finkbeiner, he is chairman of the re-editing, ISO standard 40040 and 44. He checked already the content of the ISO standard, and then we compared those methods. Okay? And Mark Goodcorp today provides that table on that booth of the pre-consultant. So please take one seat, just one seat, 3 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. And in this Eco Product 2009, we introduced so many activities. This one is France, you can understand. This one is Swiss. And this is Korea, and Korea is here, and Thailand. Okay, maybe the Thailand already the Thailand, but we are always supporting this activity, from Japan to Thailand. And I would like to introduce the Chinese Taipei. That is Taiwan. Taiwan has already the official ROMO of the carbon footprint. So. Taiwan EPA, that is Environmental Protection Administration, authorized this is official, carbon footprint mark in the Taiwan. Here is potato chips. Here is potato chips from the UK, and here is Korea. Okay, and here is what it is. Here is maybe the France, and here in Japan. And these potato chips in the world with the carbon footprint. And then we compare this one. Okay? here is a carbon footprint, of the Calbee, that is Japanese potato chips, and here is also the Japanese potato chips, but this number is 2009, and this is a trial of the 2008, okay? And here is the content is 60 grams and 70 grams. And UK, the workers' product is very small, so we need a 2, and then we get the carbon footprint is 150. What is the difference? Okay, here is the retailers, but here is the 2009 and 2008 foreground data. That is the primary data is the same, but we change the secondary data, so that give us the difference. Like this. And here is, you can see here, sales stage, that is the retailers. In our analysis, maybe the United Kingdom, you don't use the carbon footprinting. Let me check. Let me check, please. Okay. All right. So here is a 0. So system boundaries are different. That means that give us so big the difference between the same product, carbon footprint in the same product. But anyway, consumers' acceptance, I have no time to explain this one. So I would like to skip this one, but in Japan, here is a Eco Product 2009, 2009. So sample is 800, almost 800, but 6% is a business worker, businessman. So that is not a real consumers, I think. But so many people know the carbon footprint. I know it. I heard of it, And then here is, what is this? Do you purchase low carbon footprint product? If there are two same category product, 11% says, I will buy if it is expensive. I'm sure, but 11% say. But the main body is I will buy if it is the same price, So I mean that I would like to say that price control is very much important in the implementation of the carbon footprint. But anyway, here is some questionnaire, but I have no time, so I would like to skip this one. But as I mentioned before, this is the carbon footprint provided by the Nippon Ham. They showed just the number of the carbon footprint in front of their product, but they showed this ratio of the stages of the carbon footprint. So consumer said, actual consumer. There are so many consumer associations in Japan, but one or two representatives of that consumer association said, this information is very much important because nowadays, currently, they cannot understand this number, total number. This one is bigger or less. However, consumers are much interested in this information. Okay? Here is transportation and retailers is so much CO2, in this product. So this kind of the information is very much important and useful for the consumers. That is our result currently. Thank you very much, and I would like to introduce the website. This one. This one is, Japanese website of the carbon footprint. So. Especially this one is English, but here is the Japanese Carbon Footprint Forum. So we invited the consumers to this forum and discussing right now, but here is unfortunately just Japanese, but you can see some figures, I think. Thank you very much for your attention, but I would like to say, honestly, this one is 10 years ago, and 7 years ago, and 3 years ago, and currently. So as a researcher of the carbon footprint, as a researcher of the life cycle assessment, I would like to say that honestly as it is. Okay? That is a carbon footprint. Thank you.